What is up, my friends? Happy holidays. Got the tree in the background. I just wanted to start off by saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, regardless of what religion or spiritual practice that you subscribe to. This is the time of year when it is amazing to spend time with family, friends, and loved ones and really reflect on the year. So I wanted to take a couple minutes with you really quick and reflect on my year. So obviously you're coming to the channel for the very first time. This is the very first video that you're watching. This channel has progressed quite a bit over 2018. And especially since we started the channel in August of 2017, it started off as a predominant cryptocurrency advice, education kind of channel. And the advice was about a lot of the inner game stuff. And there was a lot of education around how to read charts, how to trade, what to really do in the crypto space, right? And we made a ton of what everyone else would consider mistakes, losses, fill in the blank, right? And so through 2018, what I noticed is that there was a ton of people in our community that we had built, which was over 5,000 people, that were just gone. I'd say 90% of people were gone. And what that is once again kind of duality, I guess, of oops, I made a mistake and everyone's now pointing out my mistake, so I feel like an idiot and I can't show my face. I made mistakes, I feel stupid because maybe everyone in my family now is making fun of me because I got into this crypto thing, so I have to now walk away from it because they're putting so much pressure on me, blah, 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 right? So it's like this interesting dynamic of really just inner mental masturbation that's not true at all. And so that's the very first thing that I want to talk about that I really took to a deeper level in 2018, but my self-image. So self-image, what you don't realize is that is such an important piece. How you feel about yourself, especially when you're failing, especially when you're making mistakes, especially when you're losing money, especially when everyone else is saying, just quit, just walk away, this is stupid, oh my God, you're an idiot. When all that pressure is on you, to still be able to perform, to still be able to believe in yourself is such an amazing character trait. And that was something that I was reminded of in 2018, and it's definitely something that I took to a deeper level because that was happening right and left, it seemed. I mean, still to this day, people attempt to criticize me because I got involved in lending programs when I first got into crypto. Like, you can't take life that serious. And that's something that I think is a bad habit for mostly Americans and America itself. But just taking everything too serious, right? Just relax a little bit, and it's all part of the journey, right? So you lose $1 million this year, next year you make $1 million. Cool, we're even, you know. But if you stop and sit on the sidelines and then start watching all of a sudden, then yes, you lost, and there is no way you're gonna ever make it back because you've decided not to play. And that's the second thing I want to give you guys is you got to keep moving. I remember typing this out into the Discord at least 6 times last year. Just when I noticed like, hey man, it's really flatlining, nobody's in here, nobody's sticking around. And it's like I'd once again try to pump them up and remind them that this is a long-term game. We got to have patience. And since we, myself and a ton of other people didn't have patience when we first got in, we didn't have the education and the knowledge either. Especially in 2018, that was a main focus for me, is getting educated on everything I possibly could. So I just devoured data, devoured information, because I'm that type of guy that I can just sit down for 10, 12 hours and research my balls off on a subject matter. So have to keep moving, 100% have to keep moving. So you decide if you're gonna stay in the game or you're gonna take yourself out. A lot of people decided, hey, I'm just gonna sit on the sidelines now. I'm sick of this stuff, burnt out, lost all my money, made a bunch of mistakes, everyone's making fun of me now, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines. That's your choice. And believe it or not, like, that doesn't make the pain go away. It actually just freezes it and pauses it, because you still gotta move on. You still gotta like get through life. And that's like, a lot of people, believe it or not, are looking to see how you're gonna respond and how you're gonna react to things like that. When you have a loss, when whole crypto market goes down 90%, everyone's making fun of you, they just wanna see like, is this guy secure with himself? Is this guy like resolute in his position, in his belief of himself? That's the second thing. Third thing is talking a little bit about what I just covered. If you've made a mistake in some area of your life and there's education that exists in that area that you feel you did not show up and do as good of a job as you could have in, then you study, then you research, then you read, then you hire a coach, then you get training sessions, you buy information products, you do whatever the f you can to get better at that subject matter. So then you do feel confident, because all that's doing what? Going back to number one, building our self-image. So you notice how all of this stuff is like all this self-help, woo-woo, spiritual crap that people put in this box over here and business is over here. But no, eventually I think people will finally realize that there's no boxes, that it's all mixed together. They're all threaded together and vine together. Okay, so that's the third thing I want to give you. The fourth thing I want to give you is diversification. That is something that I was really big on in 2017. In 2018, I was not as much, and I saw my portfolio suffer. And that diversification kind of comes in with this, let's call it number 5, which is having multiple income streams. Funny thing is that most millionaires, most billionaires, they have so many streams of income. For a millionaire, it's like 3 to 7. For a billionaire, it could be 15, it could be 100. Okay, you got to look at Robert Kiyosaki has over what, 650 homes? You know, like, come on, man. Those are all a stream of revenue. Every single house is a stream of revenue. So, and Robert Kiyosaki, he's not a billionaire, but he will be. Especially after this next economic crash, he will be a billionaire because he's got a shitload of cash sitting there ready to go into the market. Many people do. Anyway, diversification, streams of income. I stopped doing that through 2018. And sitting, like when I first realized it over this last month, because December I take to reflect. And I realized it and I was like, I don't want to admit that. And like, that's why I keep talking about it on video and I keep like putting myself out there because like, I don't mind calling myself out because if it's something I don't like about me and I want it to change, I almost kind of have to make fun of myself so that I get myself to relax about it and loosen up. And then I just forget about it because I'm driven away from the pain of not just being laughed at, but realizing like, man, you're so much better than that. And you screwed up and it wasn't necessary and you suffered for no reason. That's what's the driving away from for me in that scenario. Anyway, then it usually almost always ends with me going and wising up in that area and going really crazy with research and then almost ensuring that that never happens again. So 2018 for me was a great year of remembering that streams of income are what make or break you. Okay, so I stopped building and I was using way too much of the revenue that I was making to pay off old debt, which I like. That makes me feel good. Closing out those old energetic loops I think is hugely important, but left me with nothing to build for the future. It almost makes more sense. And if you can handle doing this, then I suggest you do it. If you can handle the pain, the weight, and who knows what you got to do to kind of get through this, but the people that you owe that are like really barking up your ass, really barking up the tree, a lot of times, if you can handle it, set them off to the side. Don't ignore them. Keep communication open. Explain to them what's going on, but fund this thing over here that's going to generate income for you 60, 90 days from now. I would say more than that, like 180 days or 2 years, 5 years from now. Like it doesn't make sense. Like avoid paying this thing that we need to handle right now or go and fund this thing that in 5 years will pay me possibly, or in 5 years will definitely pay me. That doesn't make sense. But if we're talking like a 30, 60, 90 day window, then yes. And if you can handle that weight and that pressure, then do that one and somehow figure out and make a new commitment with this thing here. That brings me into the next one. What are we on? 6 or 7? Is commitments and accountability. Man, have we seen that really crumble in America. If it wasn't that strong to begin with, I don't think. But we've really seen just the double standard, the depth of the double standard with accountability of people in government and what they can do and say and get away with, and nobody ever holds them accountable. Or if they do and they get in front of, a congressional hearing of some sort, they just lie their ass off, make stuff up, and they get away with it. They retire and they got the book deals, they got the keynote speech tours, and they're a talking head on CNN all of a sudden. And it's like, what the f? Through 2018, I really was pushing myself to make better commitments, to hold myself more accountable. And you know what? I still broke a ton of commitments. I still had deadlines that I set that I knew were aggressively tight that I missed, or I f***ed up, or we didn't, this thing fell through and it didn't happen in time. And I went back, and that was one of the first things I did. I went back to the people that were involved in the commitment. I apologized. I explained what happened to the depth of what I thought was necessary. And I set a new commitment. And that process right there empowers you so much as an individual because nobody does it. Nobody's willing to do it because it's almost like that age-old example of we come to this crossroads, and this crossroads is like every micro decision we have to make for the day. Choose the easy way or what looks like the hard way. And this looks like it's the easy way right now, but we have no clue what it's going to be in the future. And this one looks like it's going to be hard right now, but we have no clue what it's going to be in the future. Take that road. Take that road and just breathe through it. Just surrender, accept that this is going to be a better option for you because it almost always is. In hindsight, we realize that. But how often do people actually stop and do the hindsight? And that brings me into number 9, which is hindsight. On a weekly basis, you got to create some sort of practice for yourself to where on Sundays, I don't work, I take the day off and I reflect on the last week. And it's almost like you're the coach and you're talking to yourself and the yourself is the student. So it's like you're being the coach on yourself, and you're the student or the player in the game. And the coach is just kind of telling you how you did for the week, how you did with your communication, how you did with setting expectations and commitments and agreements with people. How did you do there? How did you do for pushing the ball forward and generating income? How did you do in all these other areas with your health, with your fitness, with your spiritual practice or religion, and all the other threads, your family, all the other threads of life, right? Like you got to create some sort of practice for yourself on a regular basis to reflect and have that hindsight, because otherwise the hindsight doesn't work its magic until you stop to look back. So if I never stop to look back, then it never works because I never get it. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm gonna leave it with one more thing here, and that's really that you have everything you need right now. This is really just like hopefully a little pump up for you. You have all the keys that you need for success right now. Everything that is going to get you from where you are right now to across the finish line for your goals for 2019, you've got right now. And so what I would suggest is that if you don't have a goal setting process for 2019, to categorize and get those things lined up and boxed so that you actually achieve those things and actually get through these milestones to the end goal, then there are videos on this channel that can help you. Not just the mindset stuff, but I have goal-specific videos. By the time you watch this, possibly 3 of them. I've got another one coming up soon. We're gonna do a live workshop on this channel and talk about it. That replay will be up on the channel, but goal setting is something that I feel is really, really important. But a lot of times people are setting too big of goals or too small of goals based on what? Based on how smart they feel, how good they are, how much they deserve. And I'm here to tell you that you deserve whatever the you want. I actually believe that everyone on this planet deserves to be rich. We deserve to live in paradise. And what's hilarious about that is just how many fundamental beliefs that one statement breaks. How triggered did you just get off of hearing that? Mind-blowing, right? Yeah, but you don't understand, but. So anyway, that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for taking a couple minutes and checking out this channel. I hope you stick around. If you want to stick around, click the subscribe button and follow us on social media, and that's where you can stay up to date with what we got going on. Hit the bell notification too. That way you'll actually get email notifications when we go live and upload on a more frequent basis than you would if you don't do that, apparently. So do all that, and then go ahead and dive into some of the playlists that we've got carved out on mindset, entrepreneurship, and of course, trading and investing. All right, that's it. See you guys.